Hello everybody, it's Red Panda Gamer here for an exciting look at a brand new game that's coming out a little bit later this year. And I'm joined by the wonderful developer and part of Axe Studio, Andrew.
Yo.
Hi. Hi Andrew, how's it going?
It's going very well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm playing possibly one of the best games that's going to come out this year. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's called Two Brothers.
Is that the Tale of Two Sons one?
Yes, the one that's on Xbox Live, Summer of Xbox Live right now.
Exactly.
It's a little more pixelated than I expected.
Yeah, I hear that they cut the budget halfway through.
But no, in all seriousness, this is your game. Called Two Brothers. Right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's rhetorical.
Oh no, it's not. So this game has been surfing the internet quite a while. You guys had a successful Kickstarter campaign last year, starting August, right? 27th, I think it was?
Yeah.
And you originally asked for $6,000, and you definitely made well over that.
I think we ended up with just over 16,000.
What was that process like?
It was scary. It was very exciting though, because every time someone donates, you get an email.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time I was in school, so every 5 minutes my phone was buzzing, and I would be in the middle of a lecture, and I would be like pulling my phone out, and looking down at it, and be like, "Oh, we got another $100." And you know, it kind of, I imagine that's what gambling feels like.
Yeah.
So much like attention and effort into doing it, and it could potentially fail, but it didn't.
Right. I mean, I understand that feeling completely. Like, anytime I get, like, an email from a game developer saying I could get an early copy of their game, I'm always checking my phone over and over again, like, and then I'm like, oh, I got it! And people are like, what? I'm like, I got a copy of Two Brothers. Like, what's that? I'm like, oh, it's a cool indie game coming out. I'm like, oh, okay.
You've probably never heard of it.
Yeah, you probably know. It's pretty obscure. No, I go to an art school, so everyone's heard of obscure things. So the Kickstarter campaign went really well. You guys made well over your goal, which is great. And what caught my attention right away was the very obvious influences of the Game Boy system. Like between like the green palette at the beginning anyway, and just the graphic style. Where did that decision... And also, I mean, to go a step further, anyone that's like played the game at PAX... Because you've been at both PAXs, or just PAX East? When you guys were at PAX, you had like this really cool demo unit that was just a giant Game Boy.
Yeah, we had two 6-foot-tall Game Boys, red and yellow.
And so that I feel like that had to get a lot of attention.
Yeah, I think that probably contributed greatly to the success of PAX. I mean, because a lot of times people just ignore the indie booths, like they're trying to get to see The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And then they see a Game Boy and they're like, okay, what is this?
Right, it's that familiar sight. It's like, oh, hey, I had a Game Boy. I played Pokemon on it. And then you lull them in, and you're like, well, this isn't Pokemon. It's something better. What did I just do? All right, so I died.
Okay.
And when you die, if you want to explain this, I know it's kind of like has to do with the story. But when you die, you go into a more colorful world. Is there anything you can kind of tell us about that, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Before you jump back to health, hang out there for a little bit,
yeah.
And I'll explain.
Okay.
So, in the beginning of Two Brothers, Roy Garter, who's the main character, he's a scientist, and he is researching the origin and meaning of life. During his research, something goes horrendously wrong, and he's killed. He finds himself in this beautiful afterlife that's filled with color, and he spends some time there, and before long, he finds himself living again back on Earth, with really no explanation of what he experienced. So as the player goes through the game and is killed, they realize that they return to this afterlife hub. So this is kind of like a central location that you return to every time you die, where you'll encounter characters who died in the game's story. You'll find some side quests up there. You'll find some power-ups. In fact, if you head all the way to the right from where you spawn, you're going to find an animal carcass.
Okay, well, I accidentally fell down a hole back to being alive.
Well, next time you die, you can find the...
No, I just went ahead and died again. So, so there's an animal. I see a skull. Whoa, game over. Oh, no, okay, so what am I... I'm eating something.
You're eating the animal's heart. It's your power upgrade.
Whoa. That's pretty cool. And then there's a skull dude right here.
Yeah, the skull dude, earlier on in the game, he was burnt to death.
Oh.
And he's hanging out in the afterlife now.
So Oh,
Go ahead and smash him with your sword.
Oh, I don't want to though.
I mean, he needs help though.
So I like released him from like pain.
Yeah, so what you're seeing here isn't the ultimate end-all, be-all of the afterlife. This is a gateway between, like, what really lies beyond life.
Interesting.
So before someone passes on forever, they stop here.
So this is almost like a limbo kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Head back to the main island. You're gonna see.
Oh, there's a telescope.
Yes, that's where I was sending you.
Very cool. Very cool. I can see all from up here. And actually, it's funny because you mentioned before we did this interview, we were talking quite a bit, that all the dungeons. How many dungeons are there in this game? Like when it's finished?
However many colors are in the rainbow, I don't know.
Roy G. Biv. So red, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, violet. Wait, did I say green?
No.
Green. So 7.
Yes.
Plus, I bet you there will be some kind of bonus mission. So you mentioned they're all animals, and I can actually see a lot of them from up here. I see a toucan, I see a bear, and there's this big, like, rhinoceros-looking one, but they won't let me look, because there's a dude here saying, spoilers beyond here, sorry. Nice little security measure there. So I like when I walk into I'm like hanging out here because I really like this area. You hang out around these colored areas, and you become blue and... God, it looks so nice. I have this love for lighting, and since, this is an 8-bit game, or not 8-bit. Is it 8-bit? No.
Well, it's technically 32-bit because it's
okay, yeah. Yeah, sorry. There's really not that much in shadows that you can get from it, but like the stuff with the color effects is so great. Like the way it fades on and off, looks really nice.
If you like that, by the time you're at maybe about 10 hours into the game, I think your mind's going to be blown because we get pretty crazy.
So, okay, this is another thing we could definitely talk about. The length of this game, the rumored length that I've been reading on Twitter. Oh, that's another thing. You guys should all follow him if you're interested, first of all. At Axe Studios on Twitter. It's ACKK? 2K?
Yes.
Yeah. 2K ACKK Studios on Twitter. I'll have links for everything we talk about today, but there is a link there to follow him. They've been talking a lot about development news. I mean, I've been following you guys for about 6 months now, and I've learned a lot about this game. So I definitely recommend that. Plus, as we get closer and closer to release, there will probably be more info. But anyway, the length of this game. What are you thinking? Like, how long is this going to be?
I would say for somebody who has played games like Link's Awakening or Final Fantasy Adventure, Secret of Mana, people who are used to this genre of games, I would say probably 17 hours. Okay. Somebody who's new to something like this, easily 25.
And is that completion, or is that
Not
just...
necessarily, no.
What do you think about completing the whole game?
I would say probably 25 for an expert RPG player.
Like yourself?
Or like you know.
Well, I mean, it isn't my name after all, so... Speaking of like games like Legend of Zelda and Secret of Mana, which I totally get a vibe from, and you mentioned earlier, to me anyway, that there's going to be local co-op where one person can play as Roy and the other person can play as, what was the other guy's name, Mark?
Well, right now you have Mark in your party.
Yeah.
You'll encounter, like, I think 4 different party members.
Okay.
But Mark is one of them.
Awesome, and that's going to have local co-op. Which will be cool, and they all have their own attacks, and so it's not like one person's just walking around with you. They actually have.
Yeah, they get to actually play.
I found the secret temple without your help.
Sweet.
Okay, so when I first talked, I played this prior to me speaking with Andrew, and he's like, "Did you find the secret temple?" And I didn't. And he said, "Well, you won't miss if you see it. You'll know it's that because it's made out of pigs." So should I just go inside?
Yeah.
It's on the other side. Never mind. I just saw it from the back. So this is just an early press build because I've been begging to see this game for quite a while, and you finally are letting me play, and I feel like I've been asking you forever. It's bothering you. When is the actual release plan for this game?
Well, we know we have about 3 to 4 weeks left of development time, give or take, a couple days. We're pretty much on schedule to finish the game. We're finishing up the final dungeon now and some final cutscenes. And then, we're going to continue our polishing thing. So It should be out by September 15th. Would be
Awesome.
my guess.
And that's what's it releasing on?
It's releasing right away on PC, Mac, and Linux.
Awesome.
And then later on, it will appear on the Wii U, PS Vita, and PS.
Hey, I got a shield. Very cool. So is the shield like Zelda, where it's just automatic? Like if it's just pointing in the direction of an attack, it works?
Yes.
Okay,
but
awesome.
it will break.
Oh, okay.
So it takes damage.
Is there so it's more like armor almost, so it takes part of your damage almost no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay.
It cracks.
Ah. Is there ever a point where I get a shield that like lasts, or is it always kind of like that?
If you could see me right now, I have my hands up like, I don't know.
Okay, so it's just kind of a secret thing right now. Or is it something you're not willing to discuss at the moment?
I guess I'll keep it a secret.
That's fine. Yeah, no, that's totally fine.
I'm gonna keep it a secret because I can.
Oh my god. Wildcat, what are you doing in the blue shrine? I don't know. I just saw the pigs, man.
Do you have sound effects on your end?
I don't. Should I?
It's okay. I mean, there's a pretty great one after you beat him, but it's cool.
I feel bad now. People will just have to play the game when it comes out. Ha ha ha. Sorry. So the game's okay. So it's coming out on PC and Mac and Linux when it first comes out, and you guys are available. The game's available through the Humble Store.
Correct.
Which is great because I love getting my games from them. Because then I have my little Humble library with everything I've gotten. Oh god, I'm about to die. Can I like? So I can hop in Mark's bag. Can I do that like in the middle of a fight? Awesome. All right, so
equipped.
I have just the normal sword. I haven't changed anything yet.
Go grab the busting sword. You can get further away.
The busty sword?
Busting.
A fishing Oh, the fishing pole. I remember seeing that in the trailer. That's something else I'm excited for. The fishing minigame. What do I do with this mermaid in a bottle? Or is it just there for now?
Mermaid in the Bottle is part of one of the side quests in the game.
Ah.
They've been kidnapped, thrown in bottles, and then thrown around the world. So they want to get back home. So
okay.
Bring them back to the Mermaid Village.
So there's just kind of one there right now, just to show that that will be something for later.
Yeah. What we did was we played up to that point and we copied the save data we had.
Yeah.
And embedded it into the file.
Get back in the bag. How do I pick stuff up? Is it X?
X, yeah.
Okay. So I'm assuming all these weapons won't be here once the actual game is released.
No, you'll have far less at this point.
Yeah, I figured.
But there's like 25 different weapons in the game.
That won't let me pick it up. Oh, there it goes. I got it. Wait, do I? Yeah, there we go. So now I have the Buster Sword, obviously a reference to Final Fantasy VII. I think. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cut that out.
Cool.
Nothing happened, right? It was a spoiler, and we didn't want anyone to see it.
Sounds good to me.
So anyway, it's going to be $15 when it comes out, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It's on sale now. I think we have 5 more days of the sale.
Okay.
Probably by the time that this is up, it'll be 5 days.
Yeah.
You can buy the game for $10, and you can buy the deluxe edition for $15, which includes the 98-track, 4-hour soundtrack.
Oh my god, that is a lot of music!
And it's all good, too.
Well, yeah, and you made it, most of it, right?
Yep.
That's amazing.
And then it also includes a 17-page comic that sets up the story of the game.
Whoa.
And it's in full color.
I love comic. Alright, I'm not going to be able to beat that stupid cat. Well, I'll try it again. I might as well. We have time. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can pre-order it if you want. You might as well. You get it for much cheaper. And let's face it, you're going to buy this game. It's really good. It's really impressive. But you were mentioning earlier Legend of Zelda and Secret of Mana, which are some of mine and many other people's favorite games. What games would you say you kind of pulled inspiration from, or some of your own personal favorites?
I would definitely say the Earthbound series, Mother series.
Yeah.
And a lot of that comes from the game. The great thing about the Mother series is they somehow managed to be extremely serious at times, and then go back to having like a eraser.
Yeah.
And like it did this awesome like sort of like bipolar switch, and you know the game's story does get very deep, and it does get kind of emotional at times. But we still managed to make it not 20 hours of crying.
That's
because
great.
The game's world is happy at the same time because you live inside of gigantic pandas.
Right.
You monstrous fish out of the ocean and then go inside them.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing that the reason I feel like that works with Earthbound so well is because you're playing this really serious game, but you're playing as these kids.
Yeah.
And I've read a lot of papers and I've watched a lot of videos, and that's almost always people's big point is, when you're a kid, it doesn't matter how serious things get, you're still a kid.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And now in Two Brothers, you're not playing as a kid. You're
Right.
playing as Roy. He's probably 33. He's married.
Oh, okay.
The world around him is happy, even though he's experiencing these mind you, Roy is not a depressed character necessarily, you know, but he still encounters some really serious, heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But the world around him is happy, and like it's almost kind of like you can be having the worst day in the world, and then you go to an arcade, and there's still people who are playing DDR for some reason.
There's DDR in this game?
Maybe, I don't know.
I found the color blue. Blue? Just blue? Let's just shrine to the color blue. The color blue is like my favorite color, so.
As you notice, there's no color blue on the screen right now.
But that would be something that would happen in the.
Nope.
Oh no?
So this is in the game, Roy and everyone on Earth see the world in color. And when he goes to the afterlife, he's experiencing new colors.
Oh.
And because it's impossible to demonstrate a new color in a game, the only way we can do the concept of him discovering new colors is to do the game in green scale.
So the idea would be... Okay, so the idea is that real color for these people is green. Right? Or no?
Real color for these people is what we see in our real lives. But when he goes to the afterlife, he finds colors that are impossible to represent on a computer. Period, in real life.
Right.
So the only way to show that he's discovering something incredibly new is to do it in black and white.
Okay, so I'm kind of imagining this as if I was playing on something... Okay, I think I get it now. So it's as if I'm playing it on something limited to just this, but in fact it is that.
Yes.
Okay, I got you now. I gotta get... It's like the Game Boy idea. It's like as if I was playing my Game Boy when it first came out, and I'm playing this game, and all of a sudden, like, my Game Boy has the color blue in it.
Yeah, or you know, your mom brings home a Game Boy Color randomly, and you're like, what?
What is happening to my reality?
Exactly. That's what the game's about. It's about getting a Game Boy Color when you only had a Game Boy.
That is a great That's a great selling metaphor. Because it's funny because I feel like that's something we're all very interested in, even if we don't show interest, is the concept of color. The idea that my red may not be the same as your red is like the coolest idea to me ever. Mm-hmm. And I really love the idea of that almost translating into a game. I mean, it's not the exact same idea, but it's very similar. Alright, so now that we went to the secret dungeon, we will go to where we're supposed to go. And that's kind of and I like that you did that in this press demo, because that seems like that's going to be the kind of game this is there will be secrets, there will be places you might miss on your first playthrough. And as much as I love indie games, it's very uncommon for a game to have, like, there's not many RPG, action RPG, oh god, I died again, these rats, man, they're so OP. It's not very common for an indie RPG to have more than like 20 hours of gameplay. If even 20 hours of gameplay.
I think a lot of it has to do is they're usually made by 2 to 3 people. I mean, and our game's only made by a team of 5. But,
yeah.
You know, we were fortunate enough to be able to have a large portion of the game created before we started our Kickstarter.
Right. It's you and your brother, right? You told me?
Yeah, me and my brother started the project.
That's awesome.
And then we brought on our friend Ian Bailey, who is a fantastic level designer. And then Jose Alfaro, who was one of my close friends, who does an amazing job with sound production and sound effects, so that's what he did.
Yeah.
And then my friend Tony Manfredonia came on to work as my assistant, and then ended up doing an awesome job writing additional tracks. And now, like, he really ended up just kind of being like the second composer for Two Brothers.
Very cool. Yeah, and I'm going to be playing the music over the video. The music is fantastic, and what I appreciate is, I mean, it sounds bad, but you didn't take like the easy way out and just make some 8-bit tunes. Like, you guys really put a lot of effort into these tracks, and I really like that about it.
A lot of indie games have really great music.
Oh, yeah.
One thing that always impresses me about them is sometimes they're made by the programmer who's not a musician himself.
Yeah.
It's like he just learned to make music because he needed music.
Right.
We were, I guess we were fortunate enough in the sense that I went to school for music composition. and I've studied it. I guess for maybe the last 7 years, and I have had works published, and I've had a lot of experience working with orchestral music and film music. So getting to do this for me was super fun. Getting to use like 8 tracks, but I couldn't resist doing orchestral music. Yeah. So as the game evolves and you find more color, the music goes from 8-bit to full orchestra.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you heard about Evoland. It came out a little bit earlier this year, but a lot of people loved Evoland, and I wasn't, not that I thought it was bad, I just wasn't as into it as everyone else was. And I feel like this game is more what I wanted from it. Like, just the idea of the game growing and becoming more complex, but still starting off really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Because I never liked the idea of, like, I mean, unless it's so, like, I don't know if you're familiar with DLC Quest. I like that game because it was like an hour and it was more just a statement and it's like cost $1, and that's fine. But like when it comes to playing a game that I need to put several hours into, I want its evolving mechanics to make the game go from great to amazing, not, oh, this is kind of boring, to, oh, now this is playable.
Right. I mean, so the game isn't like, Evoland was very much a museum.
Yeah.
Kind of like showing the history of games.
Yeah, and there's definitely a place for it. I did enjoy it, so I don't want to make it sound like I didn't like it.
Right, and Two Brothers isn't so much about the evolution mechanic. It just happens along with the story.
Yeah.
So, like, we didn't design the game necessarily in mind with, we want to take the game from here to here. It just happened as the story was evolving, that everything was ramping up and becoming, really going from, like, a Game Boy experience to a Super Nintendo experience. But whereas Evoland, that was like the point.
Right.
So like, we do it very differently than Evoland.
Mm-hmm. You do it similar to that of like how your character would level up. It's to satisfy that feeling of progression, I'm assuming.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm at this spot right now, and I'm assuming this is something that'll come in handy later. But there's like these 2 giant rat things, and there's like a ladies' room and a men's room.
Yes.
What are those for?
If you had a female party member with you, there would be a cutscene that's happening right now, but you don't have a female party member.
Okay, so there'd be a cutscene.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, depending on us, at some point you'd have Roy's wife with you.
Uh-huh.
If you're traveling through here, and then you would encounter the cutscene.
So that's something more for the actual release.
Yeah.
Cool. But, I mean, it shows that it's a living world, which I totally like. And it's interesting that depending on what party member you have, decides what kind of cutscene you end up with. So I'm finding a lot of things in chess, and I'm not really sure what they all do. I found currency with a K.
Yeah, currency is our game's currency.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Ooh, I like I always forget how much I like this overworld map you guys created. It reminds me a lot of, like, what was that game called? It was like a Mickey Mouse game. I don't know why, but it had an awesome overworld for the Super Nintendo. Where are the shurikens? I saw them around here last time. Is it north, the shurikens?
You know what? The map is such a...
I'm kind of just... to be honest, though, I don't think I explored this area last time I played, so I'm fine with it. Oh, combos. I keep picking up these little sword medallions, and they say that I can do, like, a combo while I'm walking. What does that exactly mean?
Okay, so we have a combo-based system, item-based combo system, I should say. When you have one medallion or more, if you continue to walk in the direction of an enemy and press the X key, Roy will continue on doing more combos, making the moves more complex and awesome. Okay,
so right now I see I'm doing like a 2-move combo where I like slice and then like jab.
Yeah, so I think later on in the game we go up to 5 combos. You got like stab, spin, backflip.
What? That's so much like Secret of Mana. That's insane. Like I don't know how when the last time you played that was, but in Mana or Mana, whichever people prefer, I guess, that you had your charge abilities, where as you leveled up or you leveled your weapon up, when you charged them longer to get longer combos. So it's kind of like, it reminds me a lot of that, which is a good thing, because Secret of Mana is a really good game.
It's so good. It's ridiculously good.
Uh-oh. I think I'm stuck.
You're stuck?
No, maybe not. I might have just gone the wrong way.
Oh, okay. So,
let's see. What else? Oh, so, okay, the game is being made with your brother. you said you guys were working on this game. What does your brother do? I feel bad. Like I feel like your brother should be here too.
He's actually sleeping on the other side of the room.
Oh, okay. Do you guys live together?
Not currently.
But you spend a lot of time together because of working on the game.
Yeah, but now that we're working such late hours, we have been.
Yeah. So that's pretty. I mean, that's really interesting. I mean, it's hard for me not to draw the parallel, but the fact that the game is called Two Brothers and you're working on it with your brother. I mean, is this like? Was this kind of like a passion project for the two of you? Was this something you both kind of had an idea for and just?
Well, you know, it was interesting because, you know, Brian and I started developing games when we were, well, I was 9. I guess that makes Brian like 12 at the time. And we had gone to Barnes & Noble and we bought a bunch of books on like C++ that were way over our heads. And over the years, we eventually reached the level to like actually be able to make something that was competent. You know, we've worked on so many games together that, you know, we had like maybe like a 2-year gap while he was finishing college, where we weren't working on something, but we knew as soon as we had more time, something was going to happen. And while he was in school, he majored in computer animation.
Okay.
And he was working on a 3D animation for his thesis. And he's absolutely insane when it comes to like his work ethic. While he was working on his thesis, to unwind, he started making graphics in the Game Boy style for fun. So he worked like 10 hours on his thesis and then spent like 5 hours working on Game Boy graphics before going to bed to repeat the process.
That's awesome, yeah. I mean, I understand that feeling. Like people would be like, "Why would you?" Like that just sounds like it'd be more stress. But like when I have so many stressful things going on with other stuff, I will just sit there and like edit, or even if it's something that never sees the light of day, I'll do like After Effects work and, you know, try to make something just because it's relaxing to create something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, After Effects is never relaxing, but I see.
Oh, I like keyframing a lot.
I think we've talked about our hatred for making trailers.
No hatred. I want to make a trailer.
No. Our Axe Studios hatred for making
trailers.
trailers.
I told you I'd make one for you guys.
I know. We need to get some footage first.
Okay, so something just happened.
Yes.
My foot got stuck, which I actually like. That's not scripted. Then that only happens if you go over to that, right? That chest in the deeper water.
Correct.
But obviously, you kind of teach the player, like, of course you're gonna go after the chest. You'd be crazy not to. And then that ball of light goes past. So if I didn't do that, would question mark not come and save me, or would I see him anyway?
He would not come and save you if you never went to the chest.
Oh wow. So could I, in theory, then go and fight the boss and I'd lose, or? Oh no, I would never be able to move on because I need 2 people.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to move on without him because you need him to get to the next room.
Right, because you need 2 people. That's right. I like that though. I love that. That's like old game design. You know, we talked about this. We can talk about it again. Games are way too easy these days. Not all, of course. I mean, Spelunky is like one of my favorite games because it's difficult. Actually, all my favorite games are pretty difficult. Spelunky, Dark Souls, Binding of Isaac. But the thing about modern games, especially like RPGs, is they don't want to put you in these positions where you feel like you get cheated or you don't have anything to do. And that's definitely one of those situations where it's like, you didn't do it right, sorry, you got to figure out how to get another person to come with you. So I kind of like that.
I mean, you know, it's kind of Mark's fault because he was, you know, didn't want to go in the swamp.
Well, Mark's a jerk, so.
He is a jerk.
So with the demo, it really just throws you in just to kind of show you how the game is. But can you kind of walk... I don't want you to like spoil anything, obviously, or say anything you don't want to say. But is there anything you can tell us about what the game will actually be like once we start playing? Like how the party system's going to work, the kind of relationships we're going to be dealing with. If you could talk on that at all, that'd be great.
Yeah, so a lot of times you spend... So early on in the game, when you first discover color... Roy and Bever split off to go their own separate ways to continue their research on it. Bever goes to explore a lead that he thinks might lead to finding more color, and Roy goes on. So you alternate between playing between the 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not until the end of the game where the 2 brothers reunite and they continue on their journey towards the end. So they're both working on their own thing. So in the game, we explore a lot about the dynamic between husband and wife with Roy and his wife. They're a big part of the story, their interaction. And a lot of it and as for the actual party system, a lot of it is story based. Like one of my favorite things about old games is you would get a new party member just because it would be a cool thing to change up the story.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Final Fantasy IX, you switched out party members so often. And
so, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
No, I was going to ask, will we always be playing as Roy, or will there be times where we play as somebody else?
You will play as Roy and Biv.
Okay. And Biv is...
his brother.
Okay, his brother, I'm sorry. Two brothers, makes sense.
And, so Mark is kind of your most, the guy you come and you hang out with most as your party member.
Yeah.
But as the game goes on, probably like the last 2/3, you're going to start encountering more people and switching out. And sometimes you'll have, 3 or 4 party members with you, and they all fight. They're not lazy.
Right. That's good. Yeah. Actually, that's something I've been noticing is the AI is like Mark isn't the most aggressive, but this other guy does he actually have a name, or do we never find it out? I mean, I don't want you to spoil anything.
Yeah, he has a name. You don't learn about him yet.
Okay. He is much more aggressive, it seems. I don't know if that's actually true or if it's just because there's more enemies around.
No, he is.
Okay.
It's kind of like there are certain each character behaves differently. Like Roy's wife, she has a really nice big personality, and she's one party member who will run forward and attack enemies before Roy even does it.
Oh, okay.
Because she's just like that kind of woman. She'll just get in there and start getting the job done.
That's actually really awesome. I mean, like for a minute, I thought you were gonna be like, oh yeah, she heals the characters, the other party members. That's like the exact opposite of the expected role.
Nah, she's such a cool character. She's an archaeologist.
Very cool.
And she's kind of like Indiana Jones a little bit.
Yeah, I love Indiana Jones. So you're saying the right things.
Well, I did research on you, and then I changed the story around.
Just for you'll change it again though for the next person you're doing a video with.
I'm just a pathological liar. None of this is true.
I know. So the items in the game, it seems like they're just kind of placeholders for now. Like a lot of them don't seem to do much. Actually, I found one that just said you found item. That's just, and I'm assuming that's just like a placeholder for now.
Yeah. So you get a lot of items that you get exist to be sold at shops.
Oh, cool.
So you'll find like a precious heirloom, and then you can sell that for money.
I always like that.
We have one side quest in the game that's a museum, and all of it's missing a bunch of artifacts. So one of the big side quests is finding all of the artifacts that have been either stolen or like there will be like 2 swords that were known to be a set, and they're missing the one set. And if you find the sword and return it to them, awesome stuff happens. Okay,
I'm actually talking to the gargoyle now, and so do my reactions. So in the days of being able to make decisions, I love that, like in dialogue trees, I love that your guys' dialogue tree is a crying face, a mad face, and a happy face.
Right.
Do these actually affect gameplay? I mean, maybe not this early, but
yes.
Even early on, or?
Yes.
Ooh. Well, the first time I did this, I picked the happy face. So this time I'll pick the angry face.
So it's more, it's less like a yes, no, maybe, more of your reaction to the statement.
Yeah. And I actually really like that you do just emotion and not dialogue trees, because whenever I play a game with dialogue trees, I'm always like, I wouldn't actually say that.
Yeah.
Like, I might react similarly, but I would never say that. So the thing about just doing an emotion is it's much more raw and to the point. And there's, even though we're complex humans, we're still only capable of so many emotions.
Right.
So I actually really like that idea. And I'm assuming as we get further, that plays a much more powerful role.
Yeah, a lot of it has to do with, like, what kind of man you make Roy out to be.
So does it ultimately affect things, or only, like, in the moment?
No, it changes a lot about the final dungeon. That's all I'll say.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's... Oh, the lighting in this cave is gorgeous, by the way. Like, the color, like how it goes from blue to pink.
I'm glad you like it.
I do, a lot. This gargoyle is being such an asshole right now, and I don't know if it's on purpose, but he keeps flying back and forth, so I can't hit him.
One thing you can do is if you stand near the entrance,
Uh-huh.
and you see how the rock fell down there? That punch back.
Oh, he stopped. Okay, never mind. I've never seen him do that. Like, the first time I fought him, he just flew back and forth, and it was pretty easy.
Yeah, he can smash through the barrier, and then he can chase you through the level.
What? Seriously?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we have, we break, like, the boss room sort of stereotype a lot.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I feel like there was other things I mean, there's always, that's the thing, there's always things I want to ask about a game like this. Oh, okay, we're at the cutscene now, and this is one of the first things I said to you when we were talking earlier. Is this meant to be a Pokemon reference, just the angle? Oh no, you didn't, you said what it was.
It is, well, the whole idea of viewing Roy from behind is Pokemon inspired.
Okay.
Yes. But the actual idea for do like this sort of like narrative cutscenes really came from playing 999.
Okay. Because it's so interesting when you play those older games. It is a bit of a bummer when they don't have cutscenes, and it's just so cool how you're able to make these really simple cutscenes that still had plenty of power to them. So now the gargoyle is going crazy, and our buddy here is going to try and help us out.
He's a good guy.
And I like the who wrote this, by the way? Like, who wrote the majority of the script?
The majority of the script was me and Brian.
I have to say, like, I don't know what mindset you guys got into to be able to write about colors that have never been seen before, but it's really, really impressive, the writing. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, we read, I guess, even though he's not the most popular person at the moment, Orson Scott Card, like his actual dialogue was a lot of inspiration for the dialogue of the game. Like, we wrote Speaker for the Dead and Ender's Game. We had just, we were listening to the audiobooks when we had started working on the game, so like there was some influence there. And then I read a bunch of journals by Dyson Freeman, who is a theoretical physicist, and a lot of his sort of philosophy kind of became a little bit of Roy's character.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Oftentimes you forget that indie devs aren't, you know, there's, without naming and I can't even think of anything specific, but I've yet to play an indie game that really had an amazing narrative to it, and I'm sure if I tried really hard to think, I could think of plenty. But that's something I really have been taken aback by with this game, is the narrative and the way everything's written. And once I'm assuming we'll get more party members, it's just going to get better and better. Alright, we're getting close to the end. I'm just kind of trying to explore this last... Whoa! Hey, what the hell? I think it might have been a bug. I climbed a ladder, and then the question mark was behind me.
Damn it.
That's alright, it's fine. Once again, you guys, this is early. It's just meant for me to be able to take a look at the game, and I'm able to share it with you guys, so you should be appreciative. Alright. But I'm assuming that's like the climbing the ladder triggered something. Gator Lord! So every temple has an animal you go inside.
Every building in the game.
Every building?
Even your house is Roy is at the beginning of the game is living out of a hotel, which is a giant panda.
What? That's awesome. And they're living?
Yeah, they're living. It makes moving really easy.
That's really cool. Where'd that idea come from?
You know, that's one of Brian's ideas. I don't know. It was
that's
you know
like
what I think it was he was 3D modeling just 3D modeling like some he was making like a panda was one of the first things he made, or it was a fish that he made, and he was like, hey, this place is pretty, he's like, this thing is pretty cool. And then we started talking about Jabu Jabu, and we're like, oh, what if everyone lived inside of animals?
That's so cool. That's like Miyazaki stuff right there. Like, that reminds me a lot of My Neighbor Totoro, where like the cat is a bus. And for whatever reason, I could never wrap my mind around that. Like, I've been fine with almost everything he's ever done, but for whatever reason, that cat bus has always thrown me off. I don't know what it is. It's just so unnaturally weird. But it's very cool. I'd like to show off all this dialogue, but I mean, people can pause it and read it if they really want to. How far in the actual game will this part be?
Well, the dungeon exploration is non-linear,
Okay.
so you can tackle it in any
Wait.
order that you want.
Whoa. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Non-linear.
Yes.
As in I can go to any dungeon at any time.
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so imagine if this game was Ocarina of Time and you could do the Water Temple before you do the Forest Temple.
That's always something I felt that has held back Legend of Zelda, actually. And that's actually why Majora's Mask is my absolute favorite, because I almost feel like I can do whatever I want at any time, but not really. Like side quests, because side quests are such a bigger role in that game. We're at the shrine now, where... Oh, God, I didn't mean to grab it. Oh, well. This angle right here. So is this a 3D model, then? This cutscene of me looking at the thing?
Yes.
Okay. So there are 3D models in this. That's pretty cool. So before I touch that, because that's going to end this demo, a few other things I wanted to mention that I can't believe I forgot. One of the bigger announcements that were, other than like a date and the ability to pre-order, but you guys are collaborating with another Kickstarter campaign.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, I do. We are collaborating with our good friends from Yacht Club Games.
And for those of you who don't know, they are the ones who are doing Shovel Knight, another really fantastic love letter to older games. That game, you know what, I didn't even get to play the press build until much, much later. That game is so awesome.
It's, you know what, it's like literally, I think, the most polished indie game of all time.
It might be. It is really good. So is he going to just be an NPC in the game, or is he going to be... obviously, you don't want to spoil anything.
He will fight on your party, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, man. And so anyone that joins your party can be played with another person?
Or two, yeah.
That's so cool.
And he may or may not give you a special item after his quest.
Wait. May or may not. That usually means he will. Are there any plans for any other special cameo appearances?
You can encounter Ubi from Super Ubi Land.
Okay.
Games.
Yeah.
Which is a really, really nice platformer that came out today.
Oh, cool.
And if you manage to find Ubi, who's really well hidden in the game, you can get his balloon, which allows you to jump.
Oh, it's so... I love when indie games collaborate. Like, I think that's so cool.
Great.
Like, when I got to play as Meat Boy in Spelunky, that was the coolest thing ever. I love it. Or Bit Trip Runner, like, Runner 2 just released their Good Friends pack where you can play as, like, tons of other indie characters. But I guess let's go ahead and grab this. What is this then? This is the color, right, that I'm grabbing?
Yes.
Okay. At last, I have found another. I got a so when I find colors, does that start to color the world then?
So the way that finding the colors works is Roy is keeping them secret for now.
Okay.
So when he does pull them out, I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Don't spoil it. That's like the big thing of the game. I would hate for you to spoil it. Very amazing game. Andrew, thank you so much for joining me, sharing this game with us. The game is Two Brothers. It's gone through quite a lot of development. It's coming out soon. You said around September 16th?
Yes.
PC, Mac, Linux. It's right now it's $10 a pre-order, and I'll put the link to that in the description below. You're looking to do the Wii U release is official.
Yes.
What's that like? I mean, as a Nintendo fan, that's gotta be insane to think that your game's gonna be on a Nintendo console.
It's literally the coolest thing. I mean, we found out that we were approved for development on my birthday last year.
Oh man, that's amazing.
It's like the best birthday present ever, especially because the game is so Nintendo inspired.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like every game we've talked about, other than some of the indie games, but most of those indie games were Nintendo inspired, have been Nintendo games, and this game like screams. I mean, it looks like the Game Boy. It plays like Secret of Mana, Legend of Zelda. Like it's got all these similarities. That how could it not? You know what I mean? Like how could they not put it on there? I mean, you put it on a 5-foot Game Boy for heaven's sakes, you know.
And what was so cool that is someone from Nintendo came and played the game on the Game Boy. Which
cool. That's awesome. So yeah, if for some reason you can't play games on your computer, you could look for it on the Wii U. And then you said there's also plans for a Vita and a PS4 release.
Correct.
So that's awesome as well.
Those will probably be after February 2014.
Okay, yeah, so if you're looking to play this game soon, which, let's face it, you really should be because this game looks great, definitely pre-order it. You can do the $10 option right now that gets you the game, and then the $15 deluxe version that gets you the 23-page full color comic. How many tracks did you say the soundtrack was?
I think we're up to 98 now.
And you're not even done yet. So 98-song soundtrack, which
Yeah,
the soundtrack...
It's over 4 hours.
The soundtrack is superb. And it's not just like 8-bit chiptune music. It's like full orchestral stuff. Done by Andrew. And...
Tony Manfredonian.
There you go.
Produced by Jose Alfaro.
And you get the game! So, honestly, there's no reason for you not to pre-order that version. So, Andrew, thank you so much for joining me. If you want to go ahead and like give a couple links, if there's anything else you want to say, any thank yous, go right ahead.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure, if you're one of those people who likes to play your games on Steam, we are on Steam Greenlight. So we'll give you a link to it, or you can just search Two Brothers in Steam Greenlight. We have a link, I think, on our website. We have a very active social presence on Facebook, so if you find us on Facebook, we're always posting, some great stuff from what we're working on. We have Amabo Korb and Barack Obama. They're both making appearances in Two Brothers. So it's a party. Come join us there.
Also Twitter, at Axe Studios. There will be a link for that as well. You guys have a very active Twitter. I've been learning a lot more about the game. Like the Shovel Knight update was super exciting to find out about. And if you want to know more about the game, that's a great place to go. And Facebook. I don't know how I forgot. You guys are like the most active Facebookers. And that's weird, but it is a great medium. I mean, it's so easy to share like screenshots and do polls and stuff like that. So why not?
Yeah. It was weird because when we first started advertising the game, we couldn't get any traction on Twitter. I mean, now we're up over 1,000 followers, but within like a week of being on Facebook, we had 1,000 likes, and all of these people were posting about the game, and for some reason, people on Facebook like the game, so it's
that visual style. I mean, it looks so nice, and sometimes that just doesn't translate to Twitter as well.
Yeah.
But yeah,
pop up in the feed.
Check out all the social media. We'll probably check in with Andrew again when the game comes closer to release. We'll probably do a live stream event or something like that. And of course, look out for my review and probably Let's Play, as long as Andrew says it's okay for me to Let's Play it.
I would say go for it. Why not?
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that stuff. It's a game I'm very excited for, a game you should be excited for. Check in the description for every link we talked about. And this is actually an idea I had. I don't know how busy you are, but if anybody has any questions, Andrew, if you wouldn't mind every now and then popping on the video to look at comments and possibly answer some questions.
Yeah, no problem.
It's totally up to you. I know you're busy making your game, but I saw you subscribe to me before we started doing this, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment them, and Andrew or myself, because Andrew and I were talking a while before, we'll try to answer your question. But for now, that's about it. 50-minute interview. This is a little ridiculous. But thanks. Thanks, Andrew. Very much for sharing your great game, and I cannot wait to see more. So it's Two Brothers, guys. Check out the links in the description below. Bye!